that. And that's where all
Okay.
the Barbies live. But it's creative. So they're real Barbies that are played within the human world, but they actually live in Barbieville. But they dress the way their human dresses and move the way the human move. So there's like
Ah,
one
cool.
Barbie who's like stuck with her leg up like this. So then she's always like in a splits, for example, or like something like that. Or like there's one Barbie called like Crazy Barbie or like Insane Barbie, and she has like crazy hair ripped out, drawn on the face, right?
Her
Because
owner
that's what
doesn't take care of her.
yeah, exactly, right?
Nice.
So
That's
it's
pretty
really
good.
and it goes heavy on the pain, on the feminist message. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but I don't have a problem with that, and it's done well. It's done in a clever way, a unique way. It might be the best movie I've seen so far this year, but I haven't seen Oppenheimer.
Wow.
But uh,
Wow.
but I haven't seen too many great movies this year. But this is it. I'd put it a really, really good movie.
Really?
Like, okay, it doesn't have a ton of competition this year, to be honest,
Yeah.
but so far, but I quite enjoyed it. I gotta say. Um, like
You
if you're
know,
gonna
yeah.
to me, just to discount the movie off, look, I mean, look, the message is empowering. It's a feminist movie. Like, I don't have a problem, right? And if you're gonna even hate to me to hate the movie on that merit anyway is dumb because it does it in a clever way. It's well written, it's
Yeah.
great, it's creative, and it looks amazing. The set design looks great. It's really they did a great job.
I
Really,
noticed
really
that.
good
It
job.
seems like they did it justice and it seems like it had a good sense of humor too.
Yeah, I would definitely go out and see it.
Cool.
And
Cool.
I guess we just kind of started here, but yeah,
Yeah. I was
that
also
was the Barbie
looking
movie.
sweet. I was looking at um something that might happen, which is a live action Moana
Oh, well, that's happening, is it
with
not?
I think it is.
Didn't we talk about this? Probably.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I feel like everybody can guess what I think about it.
Oh, it
Who are
was
you?
from yeah, there is going to be one expected in 2025. Yeah, how do you feel about Dwayne Johnson like playing? Like I feel like obviously he could do a great job. He will do a great job. He is Maui, you know.
I,
So
the movie just shouldn't be happening, and it's kind of a sign of I think things to come, and just
yeah.
continually running out of ideas and making the same thing. If I could turn the discussion a bit,
Yeah.
uh, but we're keeping with this point. One thing I gotta say, with we talked about it, we put out a clip of me talking about it, but I was saying on the episode, right, like the Sound of Freedom, how this could be a really good thing because if an
Yeah.
independent movie can make over $100 million, people are going to imitate it. And while I am annoyed that there is a Moana remake coming out now, I'm kind of like, you know what, just keep doing it, studios, because you're just giving more opportunity for another independent
Yeah.
studio to come along
Yeah.
and beat
I
you
get
guys,
that. Like they
which is
have their
kind of
own
seems
like
needed.
area of the market.
Yeah,
Like I don't think it's gonna stop independent filmmakers if a
no, but
reimagining of Disney decides to do of you
I,
know, I don't think it's
I think they're going to get left behind. Honestly, they keep the. I know they're
yeah,
big billion
they
dollar
don't do too
companies.
well.
They'll
Like Little
survive,
Mermaid didn't do well.
but I think they'll fall behind, right? Like I think
Yeah.
we're definitely in due for a shakeup. Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Sound of Freedom are kind of a sign of things turning away. Not yet.
Hmm.
I'm not putting all my faith in it yet, but it is a good sign. And it's Sound of Freedom particularly, right? Because now there's gonna,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, there'll be another independent movie that's going to try to repeat this, and hopefully it's good, and hopefully it can do it. So as far
Yeah.
as the Moana remake, I'm like, just keep digging the grave, just keep digging
I
the grave,
know. I
right? Like
You know,
that's fine.
Moana is the one where like I feel like it might actually be good. Like, and it has I just think because I know Dwayne Johnson is passionate about that character and he's obsessed with it. So I think he will do a good job. But bottom line is the movie's not needed. And
Yeah, it's
Moana
not.
became iconic immediately. The amazing like soundtrack and everything like that. But it's not needed. I don't think it'll be
And
terrible though.
I don't think it'll be better. And I don't.
Yeah,
Once a movie's released as an animated feature, I think it's very hard to compete visually and even voice
for
wise,
sure. Yeah.
performance wise with the animated version. Because the animated version, you can just be obviously there what can be said about looks. It's always going to look more imaginative. And
Yeah.
as far as the voicing, well, you can be more over the top, more
Hmm.
dramatic. A lot more of a parody, and that's just in. I don't think you can take a movie like that and try to make it a bit more serious
Like, who's it
and put real
for?
life context. Not that they'll make it super serious, but still.
Who's this live
Yeah,
action
who's
one?
this? I guess I don't know. It feels like people get nostalgic quicker these days. I don't know if that's because we have the internet and there's a record of everything. So I feel like
Yeah.
there honestly will be people who would be like, Oh, remember 2018 or whenever the movie came out? Oh, let's go
16.
see Moana. 16, whatever, even though it'll only be not even 10 years.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I guess people get nostalgic quick now. But like, well, the kids, most people who were kids when they saw that movie won't have kids by
I got
2025.
I got something for
Like,
you here that proves your
I
point.
don't, yeah.
Disney hits lowest box office opening since 2003. The OG Haunted Mansion got a remake
Yeah,
last
it's
week.
just,
It came out and it did absolutely terrible. It's the lowest box office opening for a Disney product based on a theme park.
it
It
feels
did.
like a turning point. But
Yeah, there's the proof right there. A remake 2 decades ago, the original Haunted Mansion came out, already got a remake and it bombed. So I mean that reinforces what we're saying here.
But you know what I am concerned about?
Yeah.
Well, I do have hope that there is a coming sea change. Definitely seems these past couple of weeks, past 2 weeks, have given a bit of hope. But I think that I've seen this floated around online already. But there's people saying that studios are learning the wrong lesson from Barbie already, in the sense that the new thing now is going to become brand movies, which hour and a half long
Yeah.
advertisements.
Yeah.
Mattel's got Mattel, right? Who's behind this Barbie movie toy company? They're planning an MCU, a Mattel Cinematic Universe. I shit you not, and
So
it's
is
going to be
Hasbro with
yeah,
Transformers and GI Joe.
and it's going to be movies about every single one of their toy lines. That's
Yeah.
going to get old very, very fast. And I mean, and
Yeah,
the
it's
whole
just too late to jump on it. Like,
but I think that's going to be the new trend. I think the movies
yeah, it
will do
is for
well at
sure.
first. I think that's going to be the new boring corporate trend, right?
It
And it's
may
not just
boost, it may boost the sales. Like if another GI Joe just came out, it
mm,
wouldn't do that well. But the fact now that Transformers and GI Joe are interwoven, maybe that'll boost ticket sales a
yeah.
bit. But I don't know. I really
But
don't think it's that interesting, in my personal
well,
opinion.
I think so too. I don't think they'll be very good. Now, whether they'll make a lot of money or not remains to be seen, right? I mean, but it's not just
Yeah,
going to be with toys too. It's going to be like every brand ever is what, from what I understand, seems to be the plan. And
yeah,
that's not really what I think the audience wants. Barbie did well because it was just so different and so refreshing in the
yeah,
climate we're in. So
yeah,
to me, the lesson should be, let's take a risk and invest in some new original ideas, more original than even Barbie's. Let's take it away from the IPs, even because Oppenheimer did well too.
yeah.
That should and Sound Freedom did well. So, but it feels like what they're taking away from it is like, all right, now we'll have toy cinematic universes
Yeah.
and
It's
then
just
brand movies. And how and so it's like anything, right? Brand movies were cool when they started, and yeah, they probably haven't become played out yet, but I think they will be. But I mean, we'll always
yeah.
have the founder and great movies like that, you know. But it always starts out great.
Blackberry, I think, came out last year.
That's a good movie. That's a great movie.
So I mean,
The
it
Social
is.
Network.
There are within like our society and our culture and everything. There are a lot of stories to be told. I think what is the new one, Air, the Nike story.
Yeah, but I don't want like this isn't necessarily what I want. But we'll see how it is. Too early
Yeah,
to.
I don't know. It's just one thing does really well, and studios want to replicate that success. So
And have you
it's just hit
seen?
or miss.
And have you seen people trying to other studios now are trying to recreate Barbenheimer, which that's
Yeah.
going to be hilarious to watch in the next
Yeah.
year. Is them trying to put some random ass movies together. There was one going around. I think it was Paramount. I don't know. I think a Saw movie and Paw Patrol were coming out on the same day, so they were trying to call it Saw Patrol, and we're like posting pictures and saying Saw
No, come
Patrol on
on.
Thursday.
No one's
Yeah.
original anymore.
Well, now I mean, it's too early to do. I'm sure that other studios will try. They won't come up with a name. Coming up with the
Yeah.
name yourself, that's lame. Let the public do it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they try to release just two movies on the complete opposite ends of the
Yeah.
spectrum on the same weekend now, which I don't mind. Go for it. I'm cool to see this experiment. We'll get some really
Yeah.
interesting weekends. It's certainly Barbenheimer was one.
I
So
like when companies embrace the meme though. They
yeah.
embrace the sense of humor. They don't need to take everything so seriously, but not that I necessarily think it's funny. It's just fun to watch, I guess.
Well, Saw Patrol did make me laugh just because
Yeah.
it's silly. Like now they're reaching, everybody's gonna try and have their own. And I'm sure the studios are just like, what the hell? Like they like why did this one work?
Yeah,
right? Why did this one work? And now they're just scrambling to find
that's why
just
the
two
internet
random movies
works.
to put together. That's a good point. It's a very internet thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have happened in previous generations.
So another Marvel show came and passed
Yeah.
without anything, without many people talking about it. Didn't get any buzz. Secret Invasion, Nick Fury's show, is
Yeah,
the
that did horrible.
first sign of a Marvel show. Like, I'm just saying, hey, did you know this came out? It made the least amount of fuss. Not many people talked about it. Not many people watched it. It's releasing on Hulu. It's the first Disney Plus exclusive that's coming out on another platform, because I guess because it didn't do very well, but it just shows that quality over quantity. Marvel's just been pumping out show after show after show, movie after movie, and I think this like silence behind Secret Invasion just kind of shows that like people are kind of got too much of it, got too
Well,
tired.
this was me and you had a conversation before we had this podcast. I remember. And like I keep one point I've always made is the longer this Marvel thing goes on, they're going to be reaching with the characters they focus on.
Yeah,
And the MCU is doing worse. But look, Spider-Man, well, he's not officially MCU, can do well, right? It's just
yeah,
now you're reaching for a show about Nick Fury, the guy with no
yeah. It's
powers.
weird.
And it's just like, I just feel like you're asking people to reach to really care. And I heard about it. I only heard bad things. I haven't watched it. It could be good. I
I
don't
just
have
heard it was
interest at this point.
underwhelming.
Yeah, I just
There's basically shape-shifting aliens called Skrulls,
Mhm.
and they're interwoven into the plot. They've been there for many years disguised as certain people, and you never know who was a Skrull and who's not, and they all revealed themselves. So that's what the show is about. That's something I would have been excited for 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Or if it was a big movie, a big cinematic movie, Avengers, maybe if it was an Avengers title, but just having it a Disney Plus show, like, it could have been a lot bigger and more.
Mhm.
Well, it's just weird.
I,
I didn't even watch it. Did you ever think the day would come where I wouldn't watch a freaking Marvel show?
uh,
Like, even I
I
wasn't
mean,
interested in She-Hulk, but I watched it anyway.
no, I mean it's pretty hard to believe. I mean, I think I would have expected you to watch it, but
Yeah,
I mean, I guess for this podcast we really didn't have to because nobody cares. But I can
exactly.
so we Oppenheimer. Well, I just had a mix up with the tickets and didn't end up going, but and
Yeah.
now I have no time. But I will see it. But it'll be
Yeah,
too late by
that's
then. I'm
something
sure
I
it's
do
good.
want to see. Like, it's just that we've gotten, because
We messed up on that one. We probably should
it's
stop Oppenheimer,
yeah,
but whatever.
it seems special and different and like a unique theater experience. I don't think Secret Invasion offers anything that Marvel hasn't already shown us, you know. It's just not new
Well,
anymore. It's not fresh. It's not exciting. That's all it is, really. We've gotten too much of it.
well, there's been talk too about this movie theaters dying off, and me and you have probably both said it, and it really seemed like that was going to happen,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah,
I like
they
I
came
don't know.
back.
It may not be out yet, and these shows. I think studios may be learning like these shows you make on streaming are not going to hold up to the
No.
classics that are made
There's just no.
in the cinema, right? And I don't know. Even didn't have faith that really that movie theaters could compete anymore. But I don't know. I'm kind of happy. It
Yeah,
seems like people still have an interest in going to the
I'm
theater,
happy too.
so that's
Like,
a good thing.
I don't know. I haven't been into shows much lately, especially like the Star Wars shows. It's been overwhelming. We've gotten to overwhelming and underwhelming at the same time.
I'm only watching one show at the moment. It's a 20-minute episode sitcom, and other than that, I'm on YouTube and then movies. That's it,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm off the show thing right now.
Me and
Um,
Riley are watching Bachelor Canada.
oh, nice. I mean, I watch mostly the Kardashians, but like
There's
with
a
my
couple,
girlfriend. But
yeah, you get caught up watching some of them, you know. It's
Kardashians I can take, but I like watching the old stuff. I don't like the new seasons.
I
They're
used to watch the
billionaires and
older
they're
ones, yeah.
but the old stuff, like yeah, that's pretty solid reality TV.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what I'm watching for as far as a TV show? I'm watching Afterlife, the Ricky Gervais
After.
show
Oh,
on
okay.
Netflix. You should watch it. It's
It's
a
good.
hard show. It's a depressing show, but it's one of the. It's funny and it's
I've
one of the
seen a
most
clip.
beautiful shows I've
Yeah.
ever seen. Ever seen.
Cool.
It's
Cool.
beautiful. Like the philosophy behind it. What he has to. Like the premise is this guy's his wife died of cancer, and
Okay.
um and he's suicidal, right? So dark start. But the way they make it humorous is he's suicidal, but he can't kill himself. So he's being an asshole. So he just doesn't
Okay.
care. And it's a British TV show, so British get a little bit more morbid with the humor, a bit more dark.
Yeah.
So it kind of works. And basically, it's him finding his life again. And it's just a beautiful show, funny show, creative, unique.
Looks like
It's only
yeah.
3 seasons, which is beautiful. And
Yeah.
he doesn't
Come
want to
on. I
overdo
don't
it.
like when things are drawn out. So
But he's one of those things where when a comedian, a lot of times when a comedian does a show that's good, they
yeah.
usually end it really, really quickly and never overstay their welcome. You even look at
Yeah.
from Seinfeld to Bill Burr's show F is for Family to this one, because actors, that's all actors and directors, that's what they do, and they make money doing that, so they keep it going to make a big living, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
the one cool thing about stand-ups is they get bored, and so the show doesn't go on that long, and
Yeah.
they leave and go back to doing their stand-up comedy, and we get this perfect show. And I love that.
Cool.
And I would definitely recommend Afterlife. It's been out for a while. I'm sure a lot of people watching this have seen it, but if you
Sure.
haven't, it's very,
I'll check it out. I'm looking here and it's got pretty great reviews. I'm a fan of Ricky Gervais. He's a genius.
yeah, his stand-up comedy is, I'll be howling laughing all the way through.
Have you seen different turn here? Zodiac?
No, I haven't. That's the Zodiac Killer movie.
Zodiac
Yeah.
Killer movie with Robert Downey Jr. and Jake Gyllenhaal and Mark Ruffalo. Man, is it a long movie. Over 3 hours long, but it's very, very good. It's old. It's from 2006, but I just revisited it last night. And it's really great. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a cartoonist. This takes place in the early 70s, but there's a lot of time jumps. So it jumps around a lot. But Jake Gyllenhaal plays a cartoonist at a newspaper office. So, and he's kind of getting interested in the Zodiac Killer. A lot of journalists and reporters are getting notes from the Zodiac Killer. So he's in the same office as them, and some cartoonists trying to break the code and solve who it is. Great movie. We've kind of been into the crime dramas and thrillers. Watched Shutter Island 2 nights
That's a great
ago.
one. That's a great one.
Oh, that one's good, and I like how that one ends on an open note, like it's open ended, in which way you decide to interpret it. Is really cool. I like when movies have a lot of evidence on either side of the plot. Like, is this what's happening or is this what's happening? And it's in your hands to decide how you want to interpret it.
It's more morally ambiguous movies, right? That's more true to life. So especially when the older you get, the more that's going to appeal to you, because life gets more complicated the older you get.
Yeah. The genius with Shutter Island is that, as difficult as it is for the main character to accept that he's insane, it's equally as difficult for you as a viewer to accept that he's insane, because you're grown with him over the 3 hours. You trust him as a character. You believe him to be sane. And then at the end, they say, what if he's been insane this whole time? And as hard as it is for you to accept that he's insane, he's also having that battle himself.
Yeah.
So in that way, so relatable, genius, the way that the movie kind of plays with your mind. Those are my 2 movie recommendations for this week: Shutter Island and Zodiac.
And Afterlife. So those are our 3 recommendations.
And your show is Afterlife. Nice.
No, we can that's okay. So one big thing I think we would say about a lot of the big blockbusters now is they're not going to be their blockbuster movies, I suppose. They're not morally ambiguous, right? It's very black and white.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it was kind of ironic because the big Hollywood revolution in the late 60s, early 70s, when New Hollywood, right? So before that is like the golden age. And then we New Hollywood, and New Hollywood's when George Lucas, Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, guys come in and change everything and make all the great classics that we know today from the 70s, which might be the greatest era of movies, depends on who you ask. and then the 80s, which has a lot of great stuff too, and into
The
the
early
90s, right?
2000s
That's a great one
have
too.
so much good,
Yeah.
like up until 2000, like seven, I'd say.
I'd even
Wow.
put it to 9. I
Yeah.
think because Marvel starts in 2008 and it had proven itself, but it still wasn't quite
Yeah.
the institution yet. So I think the 2009 you'll still find some
Yeah.
great stuff, but I mean it definitely just changed. But anyway, point is the new Hollywood people before that and in the golden age in like the 50s and that era, they had a rule called the Hays Code in Hollywood where the bad guys always had to win. Police couldn't look stupid, and
Yeah.
tons of rules just to keep it as morally pure as possible. And that was kind of done away with and led to this whole new era of expression. And it's almost like we've gone back, not as strict. It's definitely not as strict as it was back
Yeah.
then, but it's almost like the industry has put a self-imposed code on itself
Right.
in the aim to make more money and have wider appeal. It's almost like you just go back in a circle. It's like they felt limited back then and they're like, we can't make enough money. We're not appealing to the adults. So let's lift this code. Bam. And now,
Yeah.
however many decades later, now it's like we need to appeal to kids and every single person and people from all over the world. So now we have to keep things very limited, very black and white.
I just saw a thing. Oppenheimer is the first R-rated movie to dethrone Deadpool.
Yeah, that's
So it's done more successfully even than Deadpool. Deadpool was the most successful R-rated film of all time. Now that goes to Oppenheimer. So it's definitely people who will pay to see. Come on, like it's adults, grown people going to the movies a lot. Children are a big part of the market, but there are a lot of people that want to go see something new and different and dark.
And for a 3-hour movie, I mean, to do that well too is
Yeah, that's true.
that's not a blockbuster.
A factor in how
That's not
long the
Avatar.
movie is,
Done really well.
like people will not go to the movies just because it's a 3-hour movie. I know a lot of people that didn't want to see Avatar because it was 3 hours long. So that's very real. And it can affect your movie.
Of course. I dreaded even sitting in a theater for 3 hours. I hadn't done that in a long time. So
Yeah.
that part I was a bit dreading. And you walk it, and if the movie sucks, right? That's just, oh my God, brutal. But obviously it was good, but we got to get out and see it. Point is, but is this I think what we've come to the conclusion is this does seem like a good sign. What's been happening recently of what we've been bitching about for the past however many episodes. So maybe it's a sign of good things to come, but it'll be a while because we got the strike still going on and the actors are with them now. And
a lot of different companies on strike right now.
It seems like a good time for independent studios to really rise up. That's all I'm saying.
Let's hope.
And and if for whatever reason the unions can't get through this and there's this crap like owning an actor's likeness forever and using them as extras in the backgrounds of movies in perpetuity, and having an AI bot write the basis of a script and bringing in the writers later to fix it all up. And
there's a lot of injustices in the film industry, so I'm not gonna stake my face out at them, but
it's just the AI just feels like the elimination of creativity, which is what this was in the first place. But
I saw there was a video game that came out recently, and all the cutscenes were done by AI, and everyone was fucking pissed at it. So yeah, you got to support artists. Were already like a group of a career path that was a difficult career path and choice, hard to find work for artists, and they're making it even worse now. So
and right now it's all kind of stealing.
And I think like artistic taste and creativity and like being unique, that's a big part of being human, right?
Yeah, well, of course. And I mean, the second, if it does get to the point where it's just completely dominated by AI, I mean, I feel like I just lose interest. I don't really see what the point is in it at that point. But it seems to be maybe not movies, but I mean, it kind of just seems to be that's the way things were going even before AI was invented. I just think, like, I mean, we're kind of switching here, but like, okay, you look at music, right? And I'm not against modern music. I do prefer music that's instrument dominated. So I do listen to a lot of old stuff, I'll be honest, because it just is more instrument dominated. And there's a lot of music I like that's coming out now, and it's great stuff. But the reality is, It's not something that can be replicated live by a bunch of humans. And it's created with software and plugins and presets, and there's a talent to that, there's an art to that, there's nothing wrong with that, but reality is it's closer to AI than instruments are, is my point. So
I feel like that happens a lot in architecture too, and like house design, and even like new automobiles and stuff, like neutral colors. It's a lot of like we've lost touch with our creativity and embracing color and light. Like everything's gray and muted and dark now. And I love just looking at architecture from the 50s, 60s, 70s. It's just way more inspirational than it's just everything seems so bland now.
Well, but that's also partly because it's just cheap and gets up fast. And if we were still making buildings like that, building buildings like that, I probably wouldn't get done as fast. But like my point is, it just seems like certain art forms have already been kind of moving in that direction. And to me, the music that is made popular in the mainstream right now is closer to AI than straight up just live musicians are.
I gotcha.
So, and that's what's dominating. So, and if you look at music, it's dominated by producers, which are the people who are at the laptop cooking up the beats, right? That's who's writing everything. So, that's just, other than country's its own world, but in every other popular music, that just seems to be the direction. And movies to an extent, maybe I don't notice it as much, but it's definitely there, and it's becoming more assembly line following algorithm. I mean, that's what this whole franchise thing is. It seems like a very AI thing to do. Oh, you like this, so I'll give you more of it. There you go. Bam, bam, bam.
I hate it. But
it's what it is.
See where it goes. We could just sit back and just see where it goes.
Well, it opens the box. Look, we've opened the box. Can't put it back now. I can be upset about it. Look, to be honest with everybody out there, all the benefits they name don't outweigh the negatives for me yet. I don't see a lot of good in it right now. I do understand the arguments as to why it could be good. I personally just don't see a lot of good in it, but it remains to be seen. There were probably people at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution who thought it was going to ruin everything too.
Yeah, so that's right. Like,
I don't know.
Be a vital tool that we end up using every day.
It just doesn't feel like it. It just doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, that's for sure.
And when the people who are making it are like, let's pause for 6 months because we don't fully understand what this is. Yeah. But you can't pause because, okay, one country's done it. Now everybody's competing. It's a race to who's going to dominate it, right? So you kind of have to. Once it's made, that's it. We can't. There's no turning back now. So it'll be interesting. Have you seen? There's an artist. Is it Grimes? I think it's Grimes. And she's saying, you can use my voice, no problem, to make songs with my voice. It's just if the song does well, then I need to be credited. But she's like, go ahead, make songs with my voice.
Yeah, if you can't beat them, join them.
I don't know though. It's gonna be.
It is definitely a controversial topic for sure.
And then especially movies less so, because movie is such a grand thing to make, so it's hard to see AI being able to do all that. But like, music now is it's like I said, software dominated. So who's to say Spotify, I don't need these artists to pay. Let's just make our own music with our own software, and we control 100% of the business. And there'll be plenty of people who don't have a deep connection to music, and they just passively listen to whatever's popular, and they'll be fine with it. They won't care.
That's the audience that will be eating it up more.
Yeah, like there's always going to be like, I don't believe that what we like will go away. I just think at worst it'll be a lot smaller than it is now. Just become more of a niche thing, right? But that it is what it is. I mean, I'll always be into live instruments and movies made by people, and so, but that's me.
Yeah, well, that is our movie talk night.
Yeah,
something on here. I guess this is a new series we're doing now. We just talk late night movie chat, even though we kind of got off track there, but
they seem to be doing a bit better. These, keep up with it. It's fun.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Bye. Enjoy your vacation.
Yeah, going to New York City.
Yeah. So I'll hold down the fort here while you're gone.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
All right. See you.
Bye.